This is the new Omoda 9, and it's a little bit like a new build house because it represents great value for money. It looks modern, it's packed full of tech, it's got a good eco rating, it's low on tax, and it comes with a 7-year warranty. But just like with a new build house, after 6 months, are you going to end up with a snagging list as long as your arm? And are you going to end up just wishing you bought something older and more established, like an Audi or maybe a Kia? Well, we're going to find out in this video. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching CarWow. But first, what the heck is Omoda? Well, it's a division of the Chinese brand Chery. They've been around since the late 90s when they made saloons based on the first generation Seat Toledo. But now Chery is China's 4th biggest car maker. It sold over 2.6 million cars last year. That's more than Seat, Peugeot and Skoda all combined. Now Chery wants to expand into Europe, starting with 2 new sub-brands called J-Q and Omoda. They use very similar underpinnings, but J-Q is meant to be rugged and off-road focused, while cars like this Omoda 9 are sportier and more upmarket. And that's supposed to be reflected in this car's design. Now, I've read a few reviews on this car already, and some people have said that the design is generic. And you could say that it is, but is generic a bad thing? I think it's quite a good looking vehicle. Though I can see where it's like been influenced by other vehicles. See these bits here, these lights here? Again, Cadillac vibes. But it's not ugly, works pretty well, looks quite posh. Moving down the side, so we've got 20-inch alloy wheels as standard. In fact, there's only one trim level, so this is what the car will look like, apart from these are the colours that you can get it in. And it rides on Michelin tyres, so a premium tyre, and they've got special sound ending stuff in them so you don't get too much tyre noise, and we'll be checking that out a bit later on when I drive the car. Now, from this angle, I'm getting sort of vibes of the Lexus RX, especially that part of the car. Also, like many other modern vehicles, you've got poppy-outed door handles. Let's see how they operate. Now, I've got to get the key, because I didn't want the key in my pocket, because when you walk up towards the car, it automatically opens like that. And I just want to check the door handles, because on Mercedes, the poppy-outed door handles feel horrible. On this, oh, that's nice. It's like a little switch that you activate. That's good. Let me just check something, actually. Watch this. Just open the door, and like springs closed again. Oh. Let me just try that on a European car. Okay, Skoda Kodiaq, ready? Just open the door. Now it has like a thing where it stops it going past. It's like a little recess there. Can you see? Even if I push it a bit like that, you really have to slam it to shut it. Let's go back to the Omoda. Okay. No, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that feature. Look, it's just the same. The door just doesn't seem to like stop there. And just to prove it's not because it's on a slope, which it is sort of, we're going to go around the other side quickly. No, it's the same, isn't it? Oh well, let's continue with the design theme. So, the rear of the car, what do you reckon? I'm feeling a little bit of Nissan Qashqai from this area here, this part here, this light bar, Porsche Macan maybe, and then some horrendous Audi, was it the Q5 when it had a diesel engine? Because this is horrific. I mean, if you're going to copy European designs, don't copy this part of a low point of European car design. The fake exhaust pipes. The stick of truth is now probing China, and we're finding some lies. Look underneath. Look, it has twin pipes there and there. What? Oh no, what do you think about that? Have they really messed up? Because I think otherwise this is a really nice design car, but that just makes me... Inside, I've only got one thing to complain about, and it's this bit here, look. That stitching doesn't quite match up. Other than that though, really impressed with this interior. I like the design of it, I like the look of this screen, I like the quality of the materials. It's only when you go low down that things get a bit cheaper. But I think this just feels more expensive inside than an Audi Q5 and a BMW X3, because both those vehicles seem to have gone downhill, whereas these Chinese vehicles are going uphill. Is that even a saying? Anyway, things like this, like just the feel of the switchgear, just, oh, it's so nicely damped. And I like the fact they've got the drive selector on the steering column like in a Mercedes. Also the positioning of the seat controls, obviously all electric like on a Mercedes. You've got an electrically operated steering column as well with sufficient adjustment. I'm not sure about the steering wheel design, and I've noticed that this kind of shiny material there gets covered in fingerprints, and you've got this one panel with lots of buttons on it, so it's not quite as nice as... All right, I know you're here. That's the voice activation command shenanigans.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. You okay?
I don't know this yet.
No, you don't know that, dear. I didn't think you would.
This function is not supported.
Okay, of course it's not. Let's move on. I would rather have individual buttons. I know why they don't do that. It's because it's more expensive. But what they do have individual buttons for, Climate control, look, you can control fan speed like that, you can control temperature like that. It's just not having to be done through the main infotainment screen, though that's where you go into detail of all the different climate functions. And that brings me on to the infotainment screen. I'll just turn this down quite easily using a knob. So just swipe that down like that, you're into the main infotainment screen. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're used to where things are, it's absolutely fine. And I'm going to go into some detail and have a play with some of the functions in a bit, but let's just do a quick overview. You basically got your key icons there. There's a couple of things you're going to use: vehicle settings, phone, maps, and so on and so forth. It's also got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and if you have a look here, you'll see it is full widescreen. There we go. And check this out, now it's taking a while to load in. That's the signal connection here, it's not the car. Once it's loaded in though, this processor is rapid. That is really good. But I want to show you a feature with the normal nav. Let's say you want to have something else on your screen and not this. I can swipe the navigation into the digital driver's display. Watch this. And now it's on there. I quite like that. How do I get it off there? Oh, I know, press this button to cycle through the different views, I think. Or maybe I do that. No. Anyway, you can change the views of your digital driver's display, but there's one thing that really annoys me about it, and it's where the speedo is. So the speedo's there. Why is it in the middle? It's there. And it's almost being blocked by the steering wheel. Thankfully though, you do get a heads-up display as standard, so you're going to use that really for your speed. It's odd that they chose to do that. Now in terms of starting the car, it's basically ready to go when you put your foot on the brake and you've got the key in your pocket. You don't have to press a start button or anything, it just knows when you're ready to drive. Probably won't let me drive forward with my seatbelt off and the door open, but shall we try it? No, it's holding it. Oh no, it's holding it on the brake, but it is letting me move a bit. Watch your toes, Lewis. And no, it's not letting me accelerate into Tommy there, who's holding the reflector. Tommy the tank. They're quite good at the safety stuff, the Chinese, I tell you. Right, what else do you need to know? So, this release switch there for the centre console reminds me of that on a Mercedes, only it feels more expensive than the button on a Mercedes. But there's quite a lot that reminds me of a Mercedes on this. The way that opens, if you look at the design of this, it's sort of like an AMG GT. Then there's this whole door panel, like this bit here and that bit there, and the contours. That's very much like a Mercedes as well. I've already mentioned the blooming drive selector. Is that what happens? They just look at these cars and goes, oh, I'll just pretty much do it like that. And yet the switches, look, the window switches, they're like a Mercedes. Actually, that sounds quite expensive the way that goes down. Plus, oh look, it's double glazed. Look, it's got special laminated windows, which should help reduce wind noise. We'll test that out in a bit. There's a lot of, and these switches here, they're very Mercedes. It really is quite Mercedes-like inside, but for a lot less money. Other features, look, we've got some good storage under there, and we have cooling for this storage compartment. Under here, you have some more storage, some cup holders there for your bottles. And if you just want to check this out, you can by pulling on this. There's lots of functionality. Then underneath here is another little storage area. Plus, if you look down here, there's more storage, and you have a 12-volt socket. There is a USB and a USB-C. Don't know why they got the old USB. Everyone's got the new cables these days. And then there is the switch for the passenger airbag to disable it. Don't know why you need that when you haven't got ISOFIX on the front passenger seat. Why haven't they got ISOFIX on the front passenger seat? Anyway, then you have your place for your mobile phone, and one of them is your wireless charging. In here you have a decent sized glove box, and it's lined with felt so things don't rattle around. You don't have the door bins lined, unfortunately, but they are huge, absolutely huge, with lots of space for all your bottles if you're carrying lots of water with you. And then door handles. Now you'll automatically reach for the manual release, which is there, but there's actually just a little button you press like that. So once you're used to the car, that's what you're going to do. And I'll just point this out. I shouldn't be pointing this out really, but it's a thing that we need to point out. You actually have physical controls for the door mirrors, not done through the screen again, like on a Tesla. It's so annoying on a Tesla. Other things I want to show you, look, you got an absolutely massive vanity mirror and a double sun visor. Shame that doesn't extend a bit further, because the light can just catch the corner of your eye there. Speaking of which, oh no, I've done that wrong, haven't I? I have noticed that this panel, while it looks quite nice, it's already scratched. Then there's the seats. They're pretty comfy. They don't have much lateral side support though, so when you go around corners you do feel like you're flopping about a bit. But one thing I really like, 14 speaker Sony sound system. Remember when the brand Sony was cool? I'll tell you what's also cool. Speakers in the headrest. So if you're having a Bluetooth call, it'll only play the audio through your headrest speaker, so you can just hear it and it doesn't annoy other people. And then with the satellite navigation, when that's giving you directions, it comes through the driver's headrest, not other people's headrests, so you're the only one that hears it. Once again, very good idea. There's lots to like about this so far, isn't there? I don't know what, I've just figured out how to get the map off the digital driver's display. Press and hold this button. There we go. Learning as I go. I'm going to do it again because I quite like it's cool. Whoop, into there, and away it goes. There's lots of gadgets to play with. Certainly good selling points, but I don't know how often you're actually going to use them. But what's good is that they all come as standard. There's only one version of the Omoda 9 and it costs from just under £45,000. However, with a carwow discount, you could get one for £42,331. If you prefer to lease your car, a 3-year lease on this Omoda 9 could cost you less than £390 per month. That's about £170 less per month than a hybrid Audi Q5, but it's over £130 per month more than a hybrid Kia Sportage. If you want to check out these deals and loads of others available through Carwow, click on the pop-out banner or scan the QR code on screen now. But there are a few things about this Omoda that neither of those cars can match, including an incredible amount of customization options. Let's deep dive into some of the functions through this infotainment screen. First thing I'm going to show you is atmosphere lamp. So there's 250 odd colours that you can choose from, and you can slide to change the different colours. You can do it through multicolour as well, in different zones like that. You can change the functionality, so you can have this breathing effect, this flowing effect. You can even go in and change it to actually alter and pulse in time with whatever music you're listening to. Also, I really like the lighting that you have. They put a lighting on the car when you open and close the doors. Now let's go and look at some of the other features. So I press that and go to vehicle settings. So let's start off with quick controls. So you can control various things quite quickly like that. So you can see different driving modes. You can open the sunroof.
Normal mode.
Oh, there we go. Start the engine.
Sport mode. Off-road mode.
Let's go to eco mode. It'll probably cut the engine
mode.
And you can do things like open the tailgate, then go into vehicle settings, and there's so many things you can do here. You can alter the steering force to the weight of the steering, and if I just move on to the next one, easy exit and entry, so it'll move the seat back when you get in and out. Opening height of the boot there, you can do the door lock settings, so when you walk towards the car what happens and whether it will unlock. Here we go, look, so when you unlock the car it'll do lights and horn, it will do lights, it will do none of them. Then you have automatic locking. When you walk towards the car or away from it, it'll automatically lock. Wireless charging, you can control that. It can tell you if you've left your phone in the car, you can turn that off if it's annoying. You've got a steering wheel button there, so you can actually configure it to different features. Look, all these different features there like that, so you can just do a shortcut. I mean, there's so many on there. Whoa, look at all that. Normally manufacturers just give you a few. Well, let me just check something. Heads up display. Am I just rotating round and round and round? Yeah, look, heads up display, I got tricked! You can do it through a few different settings there. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then change how the car powers off. So please make sure that the vehicle is off, and you can just automatically turn it off using this button here. Wiper sensitivity for the windscreen wipers, the suspension settings as well. So if you want to toggle the suspension, right, let me just do this. There you go. So you can go into 3 different settings, normal, mid or sport. And then, let me just go into this, driving, where do we want? Headlight settings. We can change the welcome light, so I can do one that's Milky Way. So when you unlock the car, it does this pattern, or Interstellar, which is this pattern, or Meteor, what's this? Meteor Stream, that one. You'll even play music when you open the car, and headlight delay. You can change all that kind of stuff. Lots of things you can change with the heads-up display, such as the brightness, the adjustment, all very easy to access. And vehicle comfort, what's this? Rear view mirror adjustment, it means these, so you can do it through the screen if you want to. And vehicle colour, it's not the exterior colour unfortunately, but you can choose between these different colours. And these are the only colours you can get the car in, those there, but you can change the colour of the car that you see on screen. Like that. Then we're going to go for blue one. So when you go back here, to your home, it's blue. See, oh wait, there it is, blue. So there you go, quite a lot of features you can do. Also there's some others. Let's just go back into driver assistance. So this is where you have things like your automatic emergency braking, your lane departure warning, and all that kind of stuff. Door opening warning, so if you go to open your door and there's someone just coming down the side of your vehicle, it'll warn you. Rear cross traffic alert, so it'll automatically brake the car, so you can turn all that stuff off and on. And look, there's something here which is brake mode. The brake suspension mode provides 2 options for adjusting the brake pedal, so you can have it in comfort or sport, so it either feels like firmer or slightly softer. We'll have it firmer. And then there's brake, this is something else, right? Look at this. Brake pitch control. When the vehicle is slowed down and stopped in a non-emergency condition, it minimises the suspension pitch and impact at the point of stopping, giving the driver a smooth stopping sensation. Ooh. Let's see if that actually works. Also, let's just try the suspension setting while we're at it. Let's go into that and see if this makes a difference. Actually, it'll automatically change it when I'm in sport or normal mode, so let's give it a go. Normal mode. Okay.
Sport mode. Normal mode. Sport mode. Normal mode. Sport mode.
Can't really tell much difference, just minor difference. Let's move on. There's plenty of room here in the back of the Omoda 9, so knee room is very good, headroom is good as well, there's plenty of foot space, look, and because you've got a flat floor, there's room for everyone's feet. So if you have 3 people in the back at once, it's not too bad. The middle seat is actually quite comfy. The problem is for the people on the outer seats, because the side bolsters here on the seats, they just kind of tip you in slightly, so it's not that comfortable for the 2 outer passengers. There's plenty of room when it comes to fitting a child seat though, and the ISOFIX anchor points are easy to get to, and you don't have to move the front passenger seat forward to get a bulky rear facing seat in. And if you did, you could do it from back here, look, because you've got this control here, so you can just control the front passenger seat to give you some more rear leg room if you're sat in this seat. And there's something else you can do, you can recline the seat backs. You probably think you can move the base forward and backwards as well, but no, that is fixed. Don't know why they have that button. What's that all about? Now, overall, the quality back here is pretty good. It's the same as in the front, apart from one thing, the motor for the window. That's just louder, isn't it? Also, you don't get the laminated glass here. There's no double glazing. But at least the window does go all the way down. You also have some pockets on the seat backs, huge door bins. You can take a large bottle. And down here you have old school USB again and the USB-C. You've got tri-zone climate control and you've got like heated rear seats. You can control the fan speed, but bizarrely you can't control the temperature. That has to be done from the front. Now in here you have a couple of cup holders, your armrest, but there is no through loading. Anyway, should we check out the boot? This car is so fully loaded, it also has automated tailgate opening, so it should do it if I just stand here, then move away. Go. Open.
Further away.
Further away. I'm going to trip over these, all lined up. I haven't got the technique. The car's just opened. Where? Vehicle settings. Smart key sensing tailgates. I've got it turned on. Tailgate, power boot door, 318. I know how to just press a button. Now.
Bored now, are you?
I'm really bored. And cross. I know it does it, but why isn't it telling me? Why in the bit about the tailgate, are you not telling me in that section? That's where it should logically be. Well, the experiment was started remotely, 4 doors are closed. Approach, here we, it's, I didn't read it. Approach to the back of the vehicle while carrying smart key on your person. The system automatically recognises the smart key. After turn signal lights come on, take a step back. It was what I was doing. It was in the right section. I was just being a moron. Let's keep it realistic. Here we go. Turn signals on flash. Flash! Flash. Take a step back. But I've taken a step back. How much further must I go? Why didn't it do it the first time? Anyway, we've got a 660 litre boot, which is bigger than pretty much anything else. Audi Q5, BMW X3, Kia Sportage. Let me just get the charging cables out. Anyway, let's see how many of these airplane-friendly carry-on suitcases we can fit in here. Right, they've got to go into the low cover. Oh dear, I see a minor problem. This level of packing would make my father proud. He was an expert at packing a boot for holiday. Right, if this shuts, I'm going to be very happy. Oh no. I don't think we can get away with this. This is going to be a cheat. No, that's not going to happen. Get in there. Right, come on, you can do it. Shut. Maybe it's got the walkaway function. Who am I kidding? Will it work? Yes! It's impressive. Still, if you want a car with an even larger boot, I think it's going to open again. Get yourself a Skoda Kodiaq, and you can see my full in-depth video review of that car by clicking on the pop-out banner up there, or scanning the QR code on screen now. Let me just empty it out because some other thing. Ow! things I need to show you. You can actually alter the height that opens. I obviously didn't have it quite high enough. This is not how my father unpacked the luggage. Right, let's take the load cover out. Okay. Now, is there a place to store it under here? We'll find out in a moment. Let's see what other features we've got first. Wait a minute, there's no features. I like the fact there's no load lid, but everything else, there's no features. None. I've seen such a sparse boot before. Let me just fold down the rear seats. I have to lean through. It's not completely flat, but it is easy to slide things to the front. Look. So look under here. Fit the load cover under here, surely. No. No. Will it fit down that? No, it won't fit down that bit either. I suppose we've got a little bit more storage there, but anyway, that brings us to 5 annoying things about the Omoda 9. You get quite a lot of reflections in these shiny bits of trim here and here, which can distract you when you're driving during the daytime. Then at night, the ambient lighting, which is quite nice, just reflects in the windows and the mirrors. It's not ideal. I have a little bit of a problem with the seat controls here on the driver's side. So to move the seat base forwards and backwards, you just press it like that, which is fine, but it's sort of jerky, like it's catching on something. Maybe it just needs greasing and it's particular to this very vehicle I've got here. Then there's the fact of what you have to do when you raise or lower it. You can't do it on there because that's the under thigh support. Look. Also, that sounds like it's braking. Weird. Now you have to move it up and down on this part here, and then when you push it down, you think it's all the way down because it's stopped. Take your finger off, then press again, and it goes down just about that much more. Why doesn't it just do it all in one go? The lane keeping assist function of the automatic cruise control is pretty determined to have its own way. Unlike with some other cars where you can steer a little bit if you want to just kind of work with it and maybe suggest you want to be in a different place in the lane, this one will have none of it. And if you try and apply too much steering force, it beeps at you like that and disengages. It will re-engage again, but it likes to have things its own way. It's not great at working as part of a team. If you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto for your navigation and you need to suddenly change the temperature or fan speed, you do something like that and it just hides your map, and so you have to go back, see where you should have gone. Oh, wait. Oh no, I missed the turning, that's great. The towing capacity of this Omoda 9 is 1,500 kilograms, which is a bit down compared to its competitors from BMW and Audi, because the Q5 and X3 plug-in hybrids can both tow 2,000 kilograms. So it's going to reduce the size of caravan that you can buy. But maybe you should just give up caravanning anyway, because it annoys other road users and staying in a hotel is way better. However, this car does counter because it's got off-road mode, sand mode and snow mode, plus it has a wading depth of 600 millimeters, which is better than an Audi Q5 or BMW X3. You've got 50 watt wireless charging, so you put your phone in there and it says, look, fast wireless charging.
Mobile devices remain in the vehicle.
Yes, because I just put it there, I know. Also, you've got vehicle to load capability, so you can use an adapter to plug in a 3-pin household plug to any appliance and then just run it off the car's battery. You've got a full-length panoramic glass roof, and look, it opens. Check this out. So that's how a normal sunroof would open, but this one can go a little bit further. Wow, apparently it opens 1.3 meters, which is very, very wide. But what happens if it rains? Well, look, it's apparently got a rain sensor in it. So if I, oh look, it's rained. Oh, looks like it doesn't work. Sorry, Lewis. It says it would in the press pack. Okay, I'm going to try it now with the door shut. So the rain sensor's working, but it's not shutting. Maybe the human is the rain sensor. There's a man there finding out how it's supposed to work. Can you see him? It's either that or he's playing Candy Crush. We're going to see if it works when you're outside the car, because that's when you're really going to want it to auto close. If you leave it open, so go on. Where's the sensor? Wait, something's happening. Oh no, the car's opening. No. No. Literally no idea what's going on, clueless. The car comes as standard with a brilliant 360-degree camera system, so you can look all around the car. You can see a graphic of the car and rotate it around to see what's around you. Also, it has the ability to remember what's in front of it to give an underneath the car view. So I've got it set at the moment to semi-transparent so you can see the outline of the car and what's underneath it. I'm going to lay some bottles down as you drive forwards and you'll see you driving over and have a look at this. So come forward. Go on, keep coming. How's that? It's pretty clever, isn't it? Often with Chinese cars, the driver assistance systems are too intrusive, always bonging away. But on this Omoda, you just do this, look, swipe down from there and you can turn that off. That's the speed limit warning. Turn off the attention assist and turn off the lane departure warning. Super simple and easy to do. This car has an inbuilt air purification system and it will monitor the air quality on the outside of the vehicle and on the inside, and because we're in the countryside at the moment, it's wonderful. However, it does have this facility that if, say, someone inside farts and it detects that air quality has been affected, it will automatically turn on the air purification system, which is handy when you're working with Lewis, who's a bit windy. Omoda's clearly been looking at the premium German manufacturers and implemented some of the features to make the car feel expensive. So look at this, you double pull on that to open the bonnet. And then when you open the bonnet, just like on a BMW, you don't have to prop it up, it's on gas struts. Oh yeah, so what are we talking about here? Well, if I told you this car had 449 horsepower, which is 9 horsepower more than a Porsche Macan GTS, which costs quite a lot of money, that is actually a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine. So how the heck does it achieve that? Well, that's because it's also got 2 electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, so you've got all-wheel drive. It's also got 700 newton meters of torque, which is a lot, and it's able to achieve it because it's got a big battery for a plug-in hybrid, like 34 kilowatt hours. That's a lot. That means that this car can go 93 miles on electric power alone. I cannot think of any plug-in hybrid that can go further, and that should really help the efficiency, which we'll check out now. The trick computer only shows the consumption for the last 50 kilometers, and it says that the average, when you take into account the electricity and the use of the petrol engine, is 108.7 mpg, which is pretty good, but still half that of the 200 miles claimed. There's another figure here of 34.5 mpg, and I think that's just for when the petrol engine's running. If you have this car, most people are probably going to be charging it at home, 90 odd miles of range on electric only. You're just going to drive it like an electric car and then use that petrol engine as a range extender. But actually, if you're going on a long journey, when you combine the electric only range and the fact it's got a 70 litre fuel tank, Omoda says this car can do 700 miles without having to stop, which is quite a lot. If you do charge it every day at home on a cheap tariff and run it as an EV, if you do average mileage, it would cost you just £260 per year in electricity. If you only charge it occasionally and get around 100 mpg like I did, it would cost you a bit more in fuel. But if you never charge it and run it like a normal hybrid, it costs significantly more. But company car buyers could easily offset this difference. The official CO2 output of this vehicle is this, which is very low and better than a petrol-powered Kia Sportage. And that means it suffers a much smaller benefit-in-kind tax bill. Higher rate taxpayers could save up to £13,500 over 3 years by getting this Omoda instead of the Kia, and that's without having to charge it. Now, if you want to compare the very best deals on the latest EVs, then click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now. There is a price war going on right now because of the government's new grant scheme, so make sure you don't miss out on any deals. There's also a link in the description of this video. I feel in a good mood, so I'm going to start off by telling you what I like about the way this Omoda drives. First things first, it's blooming rapid, right? Watch this. I'm at 30 miles an hour. Traffic's building up behind me. People are getting annoyed. I'm now just going to floor it and get to 60. Watch this. Floored it. Look at that. We're backing off. That is so quick and smooth and effortless. And unlike some other plug-in hybrids, when you floor it, you don't get that annoying rah with the engine going crazy. That's because this is basically an electric car with a petrol generator range extender on board, though the petrol motor can actually drive the wheels as well, so a bit confusing, but the car sort of figures it all out for you. And that brings me on to another thing I quite like about this car. When you're cruising at speed, it's relatively relaxing, so there's not too much road noise or wind noise. Good. I also find it pretty easy to drive in town. You've got that electric only mode, so you can just waft about like without the engine whirring away. Plus it's quite manoeuvrable. It's got a good turning circle on it, and I love the fact that under about 20 miles an hour you can press the cameras and it'll give you surround view cameras, so you can just weave in and out of gaps and park easily without worry for curbing your wheels. And then when you leave the town and end up on a twisty country road, you know, it's all right. For a big heavy car, it corners pretty flat. But that brings you on to what's not so good about the way it drives. And actually, it's a problem that I experience with quite a lot of Chinese cars. So Chinese manufacturers, they can match Europeans on design, they can match them on tech, battery technology, all that kind of stuff. In fact, in many areas, they can actually beat the Europeans, which is a bit scary. But there's one area where they haven't quite got it yet, and it's that secret sauce in the way a car makes you feel when you drive it. They're just lacking something. It's a little bit like how the ingredients for a Victoria sponge cake are the same, but if I bake the cake, it's not going to taste as good as if Mary Berry baked it. She's just better at baking cakes. For starters, there's the steering, because while it does send the car exactly where you expect it to, the way it feels isn't quite like you would expect it to be. For instance, if you turn it at 2 degrees, the weight that you get through the steering wheel fed back into your hands is the same as if you're turning it at, like, say 20 degrees or 100 degrees. It just doesn't weight up. It's bizarre. Then there's the suspension. So at lower speeds, it's kind of constantly fidgeting about. It's like it can't decide what it wants to do. It does get better when you go quicker. However, this car never feels truly planted in the way that a BMW X3 does. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now. To be fair, this car's weight isn't really helping it, because you've got a massive battery for a PHEV and of course a petrol motor as well, carrying around a lot of weight. Then there's the throttle response. There's a slight delay when you first press the throttle, and it doesn't quite give you the performance that you expect for the amount you press, regardless of which mode you're in, normal or sport. Obviously it gets sharper with sport mode, but still it's not quite what you imagine. And sometimes, if you're really looking out for it, you can notice a slight shunt, almost like, you know, when a train's pulling away. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you can notice it. You do have to be hypercritical like me to really spot these things, but once I've spotted them, I can't unspot them. And then there's the brakes, which can feel a little bit grabby regardless of the mode you're in. I mean, that happens a lot with plug-in hybrids, as you have like regen braking for the first part of your braking, and then it's friction braking, normal brakes after that, and just blending them. Very few manufacturers get that totally right, to be fair. Then there's the way that you feel like you're sat on top of the car rather than in it, almost like you're on one of those toy cars, you know, that kids have, like those little Lamborghini cars and stuff like that. Also, there's the forward visibility. It's great through this part of the windscreen because the dash is quite low and the way you are sitting on the car, but then all this ADAS panel here really eats into the visibility through the center part of the screen. It's not quite as bad as a Mark 1 Toyota GR Yaris, which is like this, but it's not ideal, and neither is the view out the back window because it's quite shallow. It's wide though, it is wide, and the door mirrors are good, so I'll give it that. To be fair, all these criticisms I've just levelled at this car, a lot of people will be willing to overlook based on the competitive price. Now, would I overlook them, or would I look elsewhere? Me personally, someone who's really into cars and how they drive, I'll probably look elsewhere. But I wouldn't have any qualms recommending this car to people I know that just need something that's good value for money and looks smart and has plenty of tech. Also, they'll probably be blown away by the performance. Speaking of which, let's launch it. Okay, let's see what we can do. It's on brake hold. I think I'll just floor it. We're in sport mode. There's no launch control. This is going to be it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's quick. No issues with traction at all. Now it's really flying. So it's supposed to do 4.9 and it's doing like 5.1. I'm going to give it one more go with the stability control off. Will it go quicker? 3, 2, 1, go. What's it going to be? 5 seconds. It's close enough. Now let's see what it's like when it comes to stopping. Okay, from 60 miles an hour, I'm going to be looking for a solid 35 meters. That'll be very good. Let's find out what it's really going to do. It is heavy, remember. 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, 36 meters. It's fine. We'll accept that. So then what's my final verdict on the new Omoda 9? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider... Oh, it's doing its thing with the doors. Yeah. Anyway, you should consider the Omoda 9 because while the driving experience isn't that great, it still represents seriously good value for money. I also like the look of it.